Hello and welcome back to Rage Gaming. My name is Hollow, and this thing over there, that's a Time Space Distortion, and inside we can find incredible item drops to make lots of money with, evolution items to power up our Pokemon faster, exclusive Pokemon, plus the starter Pokemon which you can't get anywhere else after the beginning of the game, all depending on which zone you're actually in, and you can farm out great XP while you're at it. Basically, these things are pretty nuts, and I've been sleeping on them. Today, I put together this video to explain everything Time Space Distortion, from how they work, what's inside, how to get them to spawn, to avoid you being like me and ignoring them for way too long. So let's get started. What are they? The first time you're told about space-time distortions is after entering the Crimson Mylands for the first time. You're shown this little bit of information that really doesn't tell you all that much. Inside, apparently, are powerful Pokemon, rare Pokemon, as well as items. And all of that is true, but it really doesn't emphasize how important these are. If you walk away from this video having learned only one thing, I want it to be that you do not ignore these from then on. Always go inside, and I'll soon tell you why. Just know that this is a small area that spawns a set of items, a set of specific Pokemon that you can't get anywhere else, and then continuously spawns more common Pokemon, which are pretty strong for the duration of the distortion. When one does spawn though, you'll be given a notification on screen at the top to warn you, and then you'll see the swirling icon on the map with a big circle sort of displaying its range. Though, let's be honest, these are very hard to miss when you're looking around. The number one question I think people will have and will be looking for is how to get these to spawn. Since they're so important, there's going to be a lot of people who are going to start farming them at a certain stage. Firstly, you must have battled the first noble, the Frenzied Kleavor, successfully, before these space-time distortions can actually spawn in your game. From there, how do we get them to spawn intentionally? I'm going to give you the truth, rather than BS you like I see in many articles I've read about distortions at this point. We do not know how to make them spawn right now. Datamind info I've scrolled through hasn't actually confirmed anything yet, except for saying we don't really know. If you have a source for how to make it happen, then please let me know in the comments. But if you just do a general Google search, you're going to hear a lot of this. People are going to tell you that they feel like they spawn faster if you're playing the game, which is really great advice, isn't it? What they mean is do research on Pokemon, engage in battle, and so on. And for some reason, apparently that makes them spawn faster. And why I don't really believe this kind of hearsay is because people are also claiming that's the only way to get them to spawn. But personally, I've been literally AFK and had one spawn on me. I think it's more to do with the passing of time, so I definitely don't believe everything people are saying about them right now. My advice is to just go to a zone and work on your Pokedex in that zone without leaving that zone, letting time pass until one actually spawns. Or, yeah, you could just stand AFK in the zone, checking your Switch every now and then, every 10 minutes or so, to see if one spawned. What we'd love is if we knew how to actually trigger them intentionally, if that's even possible. Hopefully, if it is, we find out soon. Now let's talk about how they actually work. This is the important bit. The distortion will last about 5 to 10 minutes in real time, which will be paused during combat. So you can battle Pokemon inside of it and not worry about how fast you're actually battling because it doesn't progress the time. The distortion spawns in, but doesn't actually start instantly. Every time it happens for me, I have to enter and wait quite a few moments for it actually to begin. From that point, suddenly it'll spawn in a lot of special items on the ground, which are crafting materials that convert to good money, as well as things like stardust and pieces and nuggets to sell for really good money. You're also going to find many colored shards on the ground. These are the crafting materials which must be used in the star piece recipe. You will need to buy the recipe from the Craftworks merchant in town before you can actually craft a star piece, and that recipe will set you back 10,000. From there, each star piece craft requires 3 of each color, red, blue, and green, as well as 1 stardust. Now, stardust sells for 500, whereas star pieces that you're crafting here, they sell for 5,000. So this craft is very much worth it. Plus, as I mentioned, you can find evolution items for specific Pokemon types here to speed along your evolutions or bring up a new Pokemon faster. Therefore, it is absolutely worth it if all you do is go and pick up the items in these distortions. So if you're too low level to go battle the Pokemon in there to capture them, don't worry. Just make sure you go there and get the items at very least. Finally, Pokemon. We have exclusive Pokemon that can only be found in these distortions, but it depends on which zone you're actually in, so where that distortion is. And then there's also the more common Pokemon that spawn roughly every 30 seconds. From my research, which comes from Datamind Info, these exclusive distortion Pokemon are as follows. If you're in a distortion in the Obsidian Fieldlands, you could find Gengar, Sneasel, Weevil, Leafeon, and Sylveon. If you're in the Crimson Mirelands, we have the Porygon Pokemon. That's Porygon, Porygon 2, and Z. And then we also have Flareon and Umbreon here. In the Cobalt Coastlands, it's Magnemite and Magneton, as well as Vaporeon and Flareon. In the Coronet Highlands, we have the fossil types, Cranidos and Rampardos, and then Shieldon and Bastion. And then here we also have Jolteon, and for some reason, again, Sylveon here. Finally, there's also Magnemorta here. Last up in Alabasta Icelands then, we have Espeon and Glaceon, as well as Scizor. These are the exclusive Pokemon that you can only find in distortion zones, and it depends on which zone you're actually in to get them, as I've just listed. But I haven't mentioned the starters, which, yeah, this is also where you get the starter Pokemon and nowhere else. The thing is, before the starters will spawn in any distortions, you must have first reached post-game, aka you've completed the story, to actually start seeing the starters in the distortions. After that, you will find the Cyndaquil line in the Crimson Mirelands distortions. The Rowlet line is in the Coronet Highlands. And finally, the Oshawatt line is in the Alabasta Icelands. This is why I'm saying people are going to be farming these. They're going to be after these distortions at a certain point because you can't complete your Pokedex without going in these often. Lastly, throughout the distortion, roughly every 30 seconds, you're going to see these random Pokemon spawns. They're more common. It'll be like 1 to 3 spawning in at once, quite near you quite often. These can be interesting. Each zone you're in has different potential. Take the Obsidian Fieldlands. That could be a Haunter, a Lickitung, an Ursaring, Onyx, Licky, Eevee, Toxicroak, and Steelix as just a bunch of examples. So take the Steelix, for example. That's quite a good spawn to get. And yeah, the Pokemon I just listed could be found in the world normally, but they're a great source of XP. They might help you catch a Pokemon you've otherwise missed. And they can spawn as alphas, which is, yeah, great capture or XP. But to recap, we go inside, we make sure to get the distortion exclusive Pokemon that are there, we farm out the rotating 1 or 2 or 3 Pokemon spawning every 30 seconds, and while inside, we make sure we grab every distortion item that's on the ground, like the evolution items, like the nuggets, like the star pieces and the plates, and so on. They're all worth a lot of money, so we want all of them. In conclusion though, this should mean 100% of the time when one of these spawns, you go over there and you do your best to get the items and hopefully as many exclusive Pokemon as you can. If you are super low level and you're scared of going in a zone with like level 50s and 60s, just get the items at very least. It's no joke in there though. You want to be smart to avoid fighting the 3 Pokemon at once constantly, and I really do recommend you bring your strongest team and your strongest items. Overall, they're an insane source of money, important evolution items, and key to completing your Pokedex because of the exclusive Pokemon inside. The only downside right now is that we only know the passing of time causes them to spawn. While yet there's also hearsay that's saying doing research and doing battles in the zone makes it spawn faster. I hope this helped you, and if it did, be sure to drop a like on the video so I can make more videos like this one in the future. Until next time then, I've been Hollow, you've been you, thanks for watching.
Josh, Cotton, and Hollow with the videos, dropping the humor like a hammer on your tippy toes, bringing entertainment on a daily arrangement to take our insanity and turn it into entertainment. Yes, I said entertainment twice, to reiterate that it is nice to look into your faces on a mostly daily basis when you let us in your homes to make the whole world a stage. Goodbye.